My name is Kavita Melwani, and I am a multi-certified intuitive success coach. I want to personally welcome you to Aligned and Soulful Success, where we empower soulful empaths, sensitives, and conscious leaders to confidently align with their purpose and opulently shine their light without the hustle. Together, we will explore challenges and real implementable solutions so you can step into your unique purpose and shine. It is possible to bridge the success that you already have with the truest, soulful, mystical parts of yourself. Are you ready to rise up? Then listen in. Hello, everyone. My name is Kavita Melwani, and I am with Aligned and Soulful Success. And today I want to talk about empaths as high achievers. So often I hear from people that they don't believe they've accomplished enough. Most of my clients are empaths. They don't believe they've accomplished enough. They don't fit in. I have some clients who are burnt out because they tried to fit into society in the way that they were told that they had to. And so they had a hard time. And now they're wondering, can they ever accomplish anything? So first, I want to say it's a misconception that empaths are not high achievers. Most actually of the empaths that I've worked with are high achievers and are actually really doing and accomplished a lot in their lives and are doing, if you looked at them on paper, they are doing really well. And they are what you would consider in the definition of highly successful. Now, what happens though for a lot of them is they don't feel necessarily the connection to what they're doing, or they are pushing themselves beyond in a different way, right? So empaths can work hard. It's just how you approach work. How do you approach being around people? How you approach a lot of things. Those are what needs to be examined when an empath is wanting to achieve their purpose and achieve goals, right? So first, I want to talk about what a high achiever is. So a high achiever is someone that is like an ambitious person, is looking to reach their goals and work to reach their goals, are constantly growing, evolving, learning, and they usually with any positive attribute, there's a downside, right? And the downside is that they never feel like they've actually celebrate or rarely celebrate their accomplishments, and they always feel like there's more that they need to do. Okay. And so that's some of the characteristics of a high achiever, right? And an empath is a person that has the ability to be able to connect at a deep level because they have their mirror neurons they have more mirror neurons, so they're able to really connect emotionally with people and care at a deep level, like truly care at a deep level about other people and what they feel and what they think. So this can be a really wonderful tool in the world. And it's often something that people don't get to experience. They don't get to experience the feeling of truly being seen, heard, and valued, and their opinion being valued, right? And so this is one of the reasons I believe that empathy is really important in leadership. And I know that that's something that's being talked a lot about, but actually empaths can be great leaders and actually high achievers. Now, it is about honoring how you function. It's about how you connect and being in alignment with your values. And so there's a lot of things that you may have to do differently as an empath to really feel aligned and want to continue down the path of high achieving and feel connected with that. But it's possible. And I think it's very much needed in the world. And that's something that I love helping my clients do. and learning how to step into their fullness of strength, step into whatever leadership is, whether it's in a corporate situation or any other work environment, or as entrepreneurs. So that's another misconception that often is out there, that empaths can't be entrepreneurs and business people, which is not true. Okay. And so I think that it's really important for empaths to be able to fit in society and be part of society and contribute to society. You know, the age of the loudest person in the room gets all the attention. I mean, I think that's in some ways worse than before, but in other ways, there's platforms like this where the loudest person, and I've never been the loudest person in the room, also has the ability to speak about what they want to share, to be able to share things in a different light. Right. And so as there's more of these opportunities, then it's easier for people that consider themselves empaths to be able to step into these roles. Right. And so just so I talk a little bit more about the high achieving part. So often empaths actually are high achievers because as children, they were given the messages and received conditioning that they're not, there's something maybe wrong with them, right? Because they see other kids, they would see other kids that are able to do things in a certain way and they don't do it the same way, and feeling like, oh, well, maybe there's something wrong with me, or maybe they feel like more emotional, or maybe they've been labeled as sensitive, right? So there's lots of ways where we normally as humans compare ourselves to others. And when we're comparing ourselves and we feel like we don't measure up, then it's a human kind of need to fit in. And because we need society, we can't survive really on our own. And so we try to figure out, how can I fit into this world? How can I be part of the community? And these are usually subconscious processes that happen as we're being conditioned, right? And often what happens is we, and I should say we because I'm also an empath, are really good at learning, good at studying, and good at really focusing on things that we can accomplish. Usually on our own, we get things done, right? And we accomplish a lot. And we figure out that, oh, when we accomplish things, and maybe this starts with school, right? You get good grades, and you study hard, you show up on time, you care about, maybe respectful of the teacher because you connect with her or him, and feel like you can see that it can be hard sometimes in the classroom. So whatever the things are, and you then receive that validation from maybe your family, from siblings, aunts, uncles, whatever, as you're accomplishing your goals, and maybe even from teachers, right? And so as you receive that validation, then you feel a sense of, okay, this is good, this is safe, this is how I can belong, and this is how I can be seen and heard, and all the things that we all want, right? So then that becomes how you function in the world. You continue to try to accomplish goals and learn more, and excel at everything, and so that is actually a high achiever type behavior. Now, there's nothing wrong with achieving goals and achieving, reaching milestones and learning. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the approach that is often taken as an empath because we're not taught how to function in a way that honors our how we're designed. And so then it becomes like at the expense almost of other things, right? And you see how other people are doing it, and you're like, okay, maybe I need to do it that way. Maybe you haven't really had examples and mentors of individuals that are similar to you. And so you follow it and learn the way how others have done. And then it gets to a point where it no longer is working for your body. So a lot of people come to me at a certain point in their life where they start to maybe develop some health conditions because they've been pushing themselves in the way that is not in alignment. And they're ready, or they've left their careers, or they're ready to change their careers. They're usually there's some kind of burnout, and they just don't know what to do next, right? And often they feel like there's something wrong with them because they see other people in their industry, maybe colleagues that seem to be doing fine, but they aren't, and they know they're not fine. And so there can be a sense of feeling less than, something's wrong with them, not measuring up, right? That can happen. And so, as I work with people that are empaths and want to really step into their strengths, it's really important for everyone to know what their strengths are. What are the things that they're good at? What are the things that they enjoy? And what are the things that they value, right? What do you value? What is important to you? And as you are able to really be clear about those things, and I will say sometimes it can be very hard, especially to know what those things are, especially if you have been just trying to fit in to society and you've been doing the things and fitting the values of what society tells you is important, right? So, for instance, if you have been told that, you're not successful unless you have a family, right? For some people, they don't want to have family. They don't want to have children, or they don't want to have a partner, right? And that doesn't feel like it's a necessity for them to be designed to be defined as a life of success, right? And I know even culturally, there is a lot of pressure that there are so many successful, accomplished, and they're happy people, and they get a lot of pressure from their family of origin that they need to find a partner, and their life is not going to be complete without one, right? And it's like, especially for women, there's kind of like a deadline, right, that needs to be reached, which puts a lot of pressure on people. So we follow what society tells us is the definition of success, and often do things without thinking because we're conditioned to believe that this is the way. And then we get to a point where we've accomplished a lot. We've done all the things. And there's this internal kind of sense of, is this all there is? Is this what life is going to be like? Is this what I want to do with my life, right? And a lot of people get to this point maybe around midlife, right? Which is often when the midlife crises happen, right? When there's a sense of like how fast time has passed, and knowing, facing more of your mortality, and this idea of like, is this how I want my life to be moving forward? Is this how I want to spend the time that I have left? And so there's a lot of questioning that happens at this time. And so I love working with people that are at that point, because they're open and they're ready to work towards knowing who they are, and knowing who they are now, and understanding themselves, and uncovering what's truly important to them in their lives. And often it can be things that they knew as children or as teenagers, and that they suppressed because they were given some messages, and maybe not even given a direct message, but kind of a message that they interpreted, right? It's often how we see things, our interpretation of things. So they were given the message that that thing that you value is really not valuable, and you shouldn't value that. In fact, you should value this instead. Okay. And so how much of that has happened over the years? And then you get to this point and look back and say, why did I make those decisions? Right. Now, I don't believe it at looking back on your life and in regret and saying, I wish I could go back in time and see what was different. Right. But instead, it's taking those lessons and moving forward, and starting to see how you want to live in alignment now, and who are you now, and what's important to you now. And oftentimes this can be uncomfortable, especially if you have, you're in a relationship, a partnership, because, your partner is seeing some shifts with you, and they're often ready to support you, right? And so that's a great part of being empathic, because we can attract people that love, that we can connect with them at a deep level. Sometimes the narcissist things can happen. That's a different conversation. But when we have partners that we have been there for and that we hold space for and that we're connected with, they're often willing to support us in this process. So if you're an empath and you've achieved a lot, I just want you to know that you're not alone. And if you're an empath that doesn't feel that you have, know that you are and can be a high achiever and can achieve what you want. And if you don't want to be, you don't have to be. But I wanted to dispel that myth that empaths can't be high achievers. And actually, in fact, they often are, right? And it's an adaptive behavior. And I explained a little bit about that in the conditioning from childhood and why that happens. So if you are an empath and you are ready to make changes in your life, and you know that you need to change your career, or you just left your career and you're burnt out, then I love to work with people that are in these spaces, and it's something that I've been able to help so many move beyond and into a meaningful, purposeful, and even successful life. Okay. And so if it's not me, if it's somewhere else, receive the support. There's so much value to having someone that is not a friend or family member to be able to connect with and to see and support you, and to be able to see things in a way that you may not be able to notice, right? And so that's part of the value that a coach can bring to your life. So I will continue. I'm going to be doing a series on empaths and different myths that are about empaths, and even some different careers and trajectories of careers, and even businesses, entrepreneurship that I've seen over the years and that I've learned about, that maybe you are considering as an empath, or you're actually in and not sure if there are others in there. And so I'll also be talking about how to be in these types of careers in a way that honors who you are. And so until next time, take good care. Bye. Thank you for joining us for Aligned and Soulful Podcast. To view the show notes and all the links that I mentioned in today's episode, please visit alignedandsoulfulpodcast.com. That's also where you can download my free gift, which is an abundance visualization and exercise to help you unlock your abundance. And so also, before you go, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you can receive new episodes right when they're released. You can subscribe right now in the app that you're listening to this podcast on. And thank you again for joining me for Aligned and Soulful. This is Kavita Melwani. I will see you next time. Until then, take good care. Bye.